Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the official government rulebook for pet shops here in the Philippines. These are the regulations every single shop is supposed to live by, all to protect the welfare of the animals they sell.
You know the feeling, right? You walk past a pet shop, you see all those little faces staring back, and you can't help but wonder, what are the actual rules here? Are there standards for their care, their space, their overall well-being? Well, the answer is a big yes, and we're about to get into exactly what they are. And just to be super clear, what we're talking about today, this isn't just a list of nice-to-haves or suggestions. Nope, this comes straight from the top, the Department of Agriculture's administrative order. This is actual law, built on the foundation of the Animal Welfare Act of the Philippines. Okay, so before we dive into the nitty-gritty details, like how big a cage needs to be, we gotta understand the why behind all these rules. And it all boils down to one core concept: the 5 freedoms. Think of these 5 freedoms as the absolute bedrock of animal welfare. They are freedom from hunger and thirst, freedom from discomfort, freedom from pain, injury, or disease, the freedom to act, well, like an animal, to express their normal behaviors, and finally, freedom from fear and distress. Seriously, every single rule we're going to talk about today is designed to protect these basic rights. It's not just about running a business, it's about ensuring welfare.
All right, so with those big ideas in our heads, let's kind of mentally step inside a pet shop that's following all the rules. What does the government demand from the shop itself and from the people who work there?
So, the official order breaks it all down into 3 key pillars. First up, the facilities have to be on point. We're talking more than just food and water, think proper ventilation and even enrichment like toys or purchase. Second, the staff. You can't just hire anyone off the street. They have to be trained in how to handle and care for animals. And third, and this one is huge, there has to be a real professional veterinary program in place.
And the law gets really, really specific about this vet thing. They define what a pet shop veterinarian is. It's not just about having a vet's number on speed dial. No, the shop has to have a formal contract, a service agreement, and a signed written program of care. Why? Because that's how you guarantee consistent professional medical care for every single animal in that shop. Okay, so let's shift our focus now and look at this from the animal's point of view. What do these rules actually mean for their day-to-day life inside the shop? How does the law protect them while they're on display? And that brings us to a really important question. When it gets to the very heart of this issue, is there a time limit? I mean, can a dog or a cat just live in a display case forever? Well, the law has a very, very clear answer. 14 days. That's it. 2 weeks max. The law is explicit. No dog or cat can be displayed for sale for longer than that. And it makes sense, right? It's a recognition that a shop is a stressful place, and it puts the pressure on to find them a real, loving home fast. Now, beyond just how long they're there, tracking and identifying each animal is also a huge deal. And this isn't just for keeping inventory straight. It's really about accountability. It's about making sure every animal, especially those from specific breeders, is properly documented from start to finish. Take birds, for example. If they're captive bred, they're required to have what's called a closed leg band. It's a special band that's put on when they're very young, so it can't be taken off later. It's a permanent ID. And for our furry friends like dogs and cats, the rules call for other permanent methods, like a microchip or even a tattoo. And you know what else the law gets super specific about? Space. It's not just a guess. This table here is based on the official appendix, and it lays out the minimum floor area required for different animals. A cat, under 4 kilos, needs at least 3 square feet. A grown turtle needs a space that's at least 5 times its own length. And I gotta stress, these are not just friendly suggestions. They are the legal, absolute minimums. It's not just about physical space either. It's also about, social space. The rules are all about preventing stress and harm. So dominant animals have to be kept separate from the more submissive ones to stop any bullying. And this next one is just common sense. Predators have to be kept away from prey species. We're talking physically and visually separate. You just can't have a cat staring into a hamster cage all day long. That's just cruel. Okay, now for the big no-nos, the absolute red lines. The regulations lay out a list of things that are completely forbidden. These are the things a pet shop can never, ever do. Period. And first on the list is no stacking turtles. I know, it sounds like something you shouldn't have to write down, but the law is very clear. Stacking them on top of each other can damage their shells, cause a ton of stress, and it's legally considered animal cruelty. Next up, you can't have a veterinary clinic inside a pet shop.
The law demands a clear, physical separation between the business side and the medical side. They can't even share the same entrance. This is all about preventing any potential conflicts of interest, right? Keeping the retail part separate from the actual medical care. This one's a biggie. A pet shop is legally on the hook to know where its animals come from. They are absolutely forbidden from buying or selling any stolen animal. It's all about accountability and stopping illegal trade in its tracks. And here's the kind of weird one you might not expect. Pet shops are banned from selling or even displaying stuffed, taxidermied animals. I guess the idea is to really reinforce that these places are for living animals, not former animals. So after laying out all these rules for the shop itself, the law does something really smart and really important. It pivots. It shifts the focus onto the single most important person in that animal's future, you, the new owner. This quote here, it comes straight from what's called the pet owner's pledge. Shops are actually supposed to give this to you when you buy a pet, and it totally reframes the whole thing. It's not just a transaction anymore. It's you accepting a profound, lifelong responsibility. And this pledge really spells it all out. When you sign on, you're agreeing to provide care for the pet's entire life. You're agreeing to control their reproduction, to help with overpopulation. You're agreeing to follow the laws. And most importantly, you are promising to never abandon that animal. It's basically a formal contract, a moral one, that you make the second you decide to bring that pet into your life. So there you have it. We've gone through the official rule book, from the guiding principles to the specific demands on the shop, and finally to the huge responsibility that lands on the owner. The next time you walk by a pet shop, things are going to look different, right? You're not just looking anymore. You're seeing. You're informed. So what are you going to look for now?